We have 3 viewers.
Okay.
One
One day I'm gonna get the intro down. Okay. All right. Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Spur of the Moment podcast. I am your host, Justin Spurr, and with me as always is my co-host, the incorrigible, incomparable Jordan. Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Spur of the Moment podcast. I can hear myself. Your host, sorry people. And with me as always is my co-host, the incorrigible. There we go. That's better. Okay. Into full screen. Sorry. Let's do that again. Welcome to the Spur of the Moment podcast, everybody. I am joined, as always, by my co-host, the incomparable Jordan. Now that I don't have an echo in my ear, that's so much easier. So, today, we're going to be talking some Spider-Man. We're going to be talking some Batman. We're going to be talking some Prince of Persia. I got a list of news items we're going to go through. And then, we're going to deliver some book reports. And today, for the first time, Jordan's checking the chat. So, Jordan, if you see anything in the chat, just let me know.
I will do that.
Excellent. Okay, so let me just pull up my news items here. 1 second. Okay. Oh yes, let's start with The Lion King. You knew that they were making the Lion King prequel, right? There's going to be a prequel?
Yeah, I had heard about that. Which is actually, a little more interesting to me than their live-action Lion King was, because maybe we'll get some, original content in there.
Oh no, it's still live-action. It's a prequel to the live-action.
No, I know, but I'm saying it's not just the original movie, but live-action. I'm saying we might get some original story.
Or the second one, but live-action.
Andrew asks, are we talking about birthday? And Arete Media asks, or says, congratulations and happy birthday, Jordan. Thank you. We weren't specifically going to mention it, but it is a thing that's happening.
Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot to mention, this weekend is the celebration of the time that Jordan, the incomparable, came into the world.
Yes.
So there may be some special treatment happening. We may be changing of the rules for the second half.
One time only.
Well, we'll get there. We'll get there when we get to the second half. But yeah, just keep checking on that chat there, Jordan. Anyway, The Lion King. So they released the premise, what it's going to be about. And the new plot details. I'm just gonna pull it up. So it's basically going to be a sequel / prequel. So it's going to be Rafiki is telling the story of Mufasa and Scar to Kiara. It says Kiara. I don't know if they're going to change the name or not. But to the kid. And then Timon and Pumbaa will obviously be there. Hopefully they won't sing this time.
I mean, they didn't do a very good job the first time, so hopefully they learned from that mistake.
Right? I'm interested in this only because it's a story people always like to tell me that there's books, there's books where you find out Scar's name or there's an episode of the show, Yeah, what?
Is it Taka?
Oh, is that what it was? It was Taka. I can never remember what it is, but yeah.
I believe it was Taka, and it was it's Swahili or whatever for garbage.
Wow, really? I did not know that. That's funny.
That's what I remember reading online. I don't know if that's true or not, but
that's hilarious.
I just remember saying that one time.
That's so funny. Yeah, I didn't know that. So yeah, on the one hand, it's no, not more of this the live action Lion King, but on the other hand, I'm interested in a different story, and it's so weird because I've seen a few people react to it by being no, thank you, and I'm maybe thank you.
I'm at least willing to give it a chance because it's because it's not locked into just being the original. It means that they can not have to have musical parts for Timon and Pumbaa and people that can't sing. We've never really explored that territory in the prequel or sequel movies, Lion King 2, for example. We saw what happened after the first movie, but we never really got to see what came first.
Yes, exactly. So I'm just looking at my news here. 1 second. Oh, hold on. Sorry, I got to do something real quick here. Sorry, I sent the wrong link. That's why. Sorry, Jordan.
Oh, good. Don't say sorry to me. Say sorry to what appears to be 8 people that are watching / listening to us.
Hold on. That's very strange.
Would you say it?
So in the meantime, so I'm gonna move on to the next topic. While I fix this. Spider-Man. I have a bunch of Spider-Man news for you. To start off with, I remember how I was telling you that Daredevil is supposedly going to be in the Spider-Man 4. Yeah, the next one. Apparently,
While I fix this.
Spider-Man. I have a bunch of so I didn't. There we go. I didn't know that there was a deal where they had to have at least one member of the MCU in a Spider-Man movie, which is why Iron Man's in, obviously, his first one, and then Doctor Strange. So apparently, in Spider-Man 4, they're going to put Ant-Man in.
Really?
Yeah, and so long as they don't do another Quantum Mania, I'm okay with that, because I think they kind of match in terms of, like, they're both small. They should be smaller scale stories.
And energy-wise.
And energy-wise, yeah, I think they match comedically. So what are your thoughts on that?
That's interesting. After Quantum or Antimania, I'm a little concerned, but I need to see a trailer of them together. Like, Spider-Man worked well with Doctor Strange, but at the time I thought that was an odd choice. So, I'm not immediately against that. I kind of like it more than, like, if you were to team up with Daredevil, personally. I don't know, that's just me, but...
Yeah, I mean, well, I don't know. I no, him and Daredevil, they're classically teamed up, and they both exist in the same space, in the same city, so...
It makes sense. I just, from an energy standpoint, I think I like the comedic, to me, and to be fair, this is just because I've only ever seen the Daredevil show in terms of this particular character, but he's more serious.
Yeah.
So anything that I see him with Spider-Man, I just see it being a more serious movie, whereas Ant-Man, right from his first movie, was goofy. He's a goofy character.
Until the third one.
Sure, but that one was totally weird, and we all agree that we don't like it for that reason. Amongst other reasons. But Spider-Man and Ant-Man, especially Paul Rudd's Ant-Man, going together, they just, to me, mesh better.
As long as you scale it back down again, and it's just a very basic, you know what I mean? Yeah. My concern by them being like Ant-Man's going to be in it is he just did a Kang. My concern is he's going to bring his Kangness to the next Spider-Man movie, which, yes, I get they want him to be in Secret Wars. That's fine. Have him be in that. But, like, let Spider-Man 4 just be about him stopping basic bitch criminals, please.
I mean, I don't disagree, but also if what you're saying is true and Spider-Man is the one that's got to lead the new Avengers and he's going to be, like, the center of everything, it kind of makes sense that they would put Ant-Man in there to bring him into that center form.
I mean, yeah, logically it does make sense. It just doesn't work for me.
That's fair. I just more meant from, like, an external factor, like a studio decision. That's what they.
Oh, yeah, calculated executively. Yes, it does make quite a bit of sense. Yes. Yeah,
I mean, that would be my opinion.
The next bit, I got a bunch of Spider-Man news. So there's been an update given about Beyond the Spider-Verse. It's still not coming out by next March. It's still not on the calendar at all. But they're working on it. Shouldn't have ended it on that cliffhanger.
Brutal cliffhanger. I remember walking out of that and just being like, that was a bad ending.
Yeah.
Like, that was a bad ending. Why would you end it there? It's not an ending. It just stops.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like they just picked a random point in the script and were like, there.
Frustrates me. Frustrates me to no end.
And so related to Spider-Verse, apparently there's a leak from a bunch of Insomniac stuff. There's a bunch of Wolverine stuff that leaked, and obviously they're making Spider-Man 3. They're working on that. But the interesting one was they're working on a Spider-Verse game apparently.
Really?
Yeah.
Like based on the movies
I
or based on the
don't
comics?
know. I think maybe based off the movies. Maybe like it's gonna be like Peter, how Peter joined the Spider Society. Maybe I have no idea. I don't know what they would do for it.
That's an interesting choice. I mean, they've already kind of nailed the movie animation style
Yeah.
in the game.
Yeah, they have. Yeah.
So I could see it.
Yeah.
Question is will this Spider-Man show up in it? Will
I
it be a skin that you can play as?
I imagine he might be the main character. He might be the Spider-Man you play as.
Interesting.
Or I mean,
They did
maybe
set it up.
maybe they're gonna. Yeah.
Spoiler, they did set it up in Spider-Man 2.
Yeah. Plus, he's in the comics as well.
Sure, but I'm more just like in terms of the one that we specifically play as, both Miles
Yeah.
and Peter, like they've set it up in this game.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Then the portal hopping technology.
Maybe that's what Spider-Man 3 will be.
No, it's spoiler for the end of Spider-Man 2. It's Green Goblin and Doc Ock team up and do a second Sinister Six. There's no way it's not. I mean, maybe they're gonna do a thing where it's like you like it's like a team-based game or whatever, and like you team up and you can pick your own different Spider. Or maybe it's like it'd be kind of neat if it was like just a default Spider-Man that you could like customize or whatever. That'd be kind of neat, and it was like a team-based thing.
That'd be interesting.
Why not like fold in multiple like if it's gonna be a Spider-Verse movie, yeah, it kind of feels like it needs to be like you're on a team of Spider people and you do Black Ops missions or whatever.
Like an MMO but with Spider people.
Something like that. I mean, hopefully not like games as a service nonsense, but certainly something like that. Let me just see here. What was next? Yes, the Spider-Verse game. No, let's not do that yet. Oh, they changed the name of that new Spider-Man show.
New Spider-Man?
Yeah, the one that they said got canceled, but I guess didn't. The freshman year.
Oh, the
not Tom Holland prequel.
Yeah, the one that makes no sense and is stupid looking.
Yeah.
Right. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I chose to blank that one from my memory.
Yeah, they're still really holding on tight to the idea that this is going to somehow tie into Tom Holland's Spider-Man, but it's now got a different name. It's no longer called Freshman Year. It is now called... Hold on. Oh, is this article not going to tell me?
Can we just not? Like, can we just...
Oh, that's what it is. It's now called Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, is what it's now called.
I mean, if anything, I would prefer if it was like if it was the continuation, like the everyday story continuation of after the third one, where it's now he's back to being normal Spider-Man and he just did Spider-Man.
Yeah, get a Tom Holland sound alike and go to town.
I don't need a stupid, not gonna make any sense prequel show that doesn't make any sense and it's stupid.
They're saying it takes place in another universe where things are kind of the same but different.
No. Let's not do that. Let's just rework this show and make it like good.
I mean, I don't know. I'm never against a starting from the beginning Spider-Man story. It's just the part of it that irritated me was when they were like, "It's Tom Holland," and it's like, but it can't be.
No. That's my thing.
They kept insisting it was.
It being a prequel show thing. I care about them insisting that it connects to our Tom Holland Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Like, no, it doesn't. It
absolutely cannot.
Just make it its own like individual story. It doesn't.
Exactly.
No, stop it.
Stop it. Stop what you're doing. Stop it. Stop it.
Just no.
Exactly.
I say no.
I say no. Was that the end of my Spider-Man news? I feel like I had one more. I think that might be the end of my spot. Oh yes, Batman. I have Batman news. Apparently they've added. They're going to be adding the Batman and a bunch of other. I didn't see what the other ones were, but a bunch of other.
My chat wasn't updating there. We did get a message from Russell, who's asking whose birthday is on Monday. Please tell. Hello, anyone home? Yes. Sorry, we are home. My chat was not wanting to show me stuff, but it is now. So, hello.
And it's that one's, to answer your question.
It is.
That one it's his anniversary of coming into existence. It's not necessarily today.
It is my 32nd year around the sun.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So, so they're putting a bunch of various DC movies onto Tubi, including the Batman.
Really?
Which is like
onto a free service.
Yeah, some people are signaling that it's like the end of Warner Brothers, basically. That's what that means. It's like the 4 signs of Warner Brothers is headed for bankruptcy if they're putting it on a free streaming service.
As long as it's not Brattinson, I'm good, is what Arete says.
Oh, Robert Pattinson?
I'm assuming that's what he means when he says Pattinson.
Pattinson, yeah, Robert Pattinson. I liked Robert Pattinson. I liked 75 for 80. I liked most of that movie. There's elements of it I hated, and I got a lot of shit for it. I had a lot of angry people yelling at me about it.
Mum, love.
Love. I don't know if you could tell, but there's a video that's going to be coming later, but we appreciate
we have benefactors.
Our secret benefactors. We will discuss how public they want to be later.
But Pattinson.
Robot Bat.
Back on subject here. I liked his fight scenes. I otherwise felt that the movie was a lot like the Christopher Nolan Batman in a lot of ways, which is not necessarily a bad thing. But kind of unoriginal.
I maintain it's the most like fluid and smooth. Like it's the best. I think it's the best Batman has ever looked in a fight scene, personally, including the Nolan ones, and that's just because I think of how they've designed the costume. It's just really like mobile. It's too long. It's way too long. I shave an hour off of it, and I was like, this is pretty good, but it's way too long. So some of the scenes drag on agonizingly long. The last scene in particular is like it was like I just remember watching it being like, end the movie please, end the movie please, end the movie please.
I mean, yeah, I remember it being very long. Sorry, Arete says correct. My hatred of Robert Pattinson is well documented. Russ says nice mics. Yes, they are very nice.
They are very nice mics.
Very, very much appreciate them, and you guys for the benefactor. Benefacting? Yes. Critical Hit Training says, hey, it's Michael. Happy early birthday, Jordan. Congrats on finally being free from the crushing weight of debt. You worked hard and it's finally paid off. Yes! I'm very, very happy about that. Russ says, happy birthday, dude. We'll call on Monday. And Mum said, the other benefactor, who again we don't know how public they want to be, says, "You're welcome."
Yes, thank you. Yes, thank you.
And yes, we will talk to you on using these mics on Monday.
Yeah, clean, crisp audio.
You will hear us perfectly well.
Yeah. So what I found funny about it going to Tubi though is it turned what is a like 3-hour movie into a 4-hour movie. I just can't imagine. It's like the commercials get agonizing.
Yes, yeah.
And I love Tubi. No. Seriously. If I made a video once where I begged for them to sponsor me. I would love to be sponsored by Tubi. And then I saw someone had a Tubi sponsorship. I'm like, they do sponsor people. But I love Tubi, but there's no way I'd watch the Batman on Tubi.
No, I mean, I like Tubi. For certain movies, I'll put up with the ads, but Tubi is good for television.
It's great for television. Yes.
Aneurysm234 says, I didn't mind Pattinson as Batman, but I wasn't as big of a fan of him as Bruce. Penguin's makeup was crazy good, though. Had no idea who it was until...
Yeah, I knew because I do this, but had I not known, I wouldn't have guessed that was him. That's for sure. And yeah, like I said, the fight sequences, I like his physicality. I didn't like his Bruce Wayne, no. But one of the things I did like about his Bruce Wayne, which was when he re-entered spaces that he had entered previously as Batman, he walked as Batman and he carried himself as Batman. And the sound design in that movie, like, I really loved. I loved the sound design in that movie. I hated the Joker. I hated the Joker, and I've had so many people say unpleasant things to me about it. It kind of has become funny.
What I remember about that movie is I remember just feeling like the Riddler was way too similar to the Joker in a lot of ways. He didn't feel like the Riddler to me.
Yeah,
personally.
I mean, they were kind of going for a Hush thing, which is why I heard they want to do Hush for the next one. It's like, no, do Clayface, like you were initially talking about. Do Clayface. Clayface is way more interesting for that universe. Clayface or Mr. Freeze. I desperately wanted them to do it Mr. Freeze.
The chat is very busy today. Russ says, thanks for asking for my support to chat with the bank. You did it. Congratulations. Yes, would still be drowning in debt if it wasn't for your support. So I absolutely appreciate everything you did and do. Aneurysm 234 says, also happy birthday, cuz. Heard about the debt too. Congrats. Yes, it feels good. I'm very happy about that. Especially because I checked my bank earlier this morning and it came out properly. So, so that's good. But Russ says, now I want a loan. Crying emoji. Like laughing on his side. Barry Spurr. Happy early birthday, Jordan. Thank you. Appreciate it. And Russ then proceeds to send $, I'm using people's names as they show up on in the chat. So
yeah.
If anyone doesn't want me to use a name or wants me to anything like that, just let me know and I'll just refer to you as he, they, them.
Whatever you like, yeah.
Whatever you prefer.
Also, if you're uncomfortable with your name being public, that's also cool. I can go in retroactively and bleep names. I think I'm pretty confident I can do that.
Should be able to.
I think I can. I think I can. I'm pretty confident I can.
We'll make it work.
We'll make it work. Yes. So okay. With that having been said, let's move on to the next topic, which is that did you know they're making a new Prince of Persia game?
I feel like I've heard something about this, but I don't really know any details. They made a remake or something, didn't they, recently?
Yeah, well, I know that I don't know if the original, but there's
Cheers to you, Ross.
But yeah, there's a new one coming out. It's called Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, and apparently it takes a lot from Sands of Time. That was what I've read. I haven't watched much from it. I just when I was pulling together my news for today, I was like, ooh, Prince of Persia.
I haven't played a Prince of Persia game in years. I the originals anyway.
Yeah.
The first three.
Yeah.
That wasn't one that I grew up with. I did in certain ways, but
the original. I'm never beating the original. I've always wanted to get a good emulator and play it.
Aneurysm says, is it the side-scroller Prince of Persia? I forget the name.
Yes, that's the one. Yes, the Lost Crown. Yeah, it's supposedly closer to the original. It's much similar to the original game.
Oh, like the original.
Original, yeah.
Oh, so it's hard then.
Well, I don't know. I saw a couple trailers and I was like, oh, that's neat. And then I've been so consumed by other things. I haven't really paid much attention to it. But like I said, it was when I was pulling together my news for it today. I was like, oh, Prince of Persia.
Aneurysm says, oh yes, that's the one. It actually looks pretty good. I'm still waiting for the Sands of Time remake, though.
Yeah.
The Sands of Time remake. That's what I thought.
Interesting.
I think that's what I heard about.
I hadn't heard that, but that'd be cool. I hadn't. Yeah, I love that game. That game's so much fun.
Right? I love that original trilogy in general.
Yeah. I mean, the second one is not so great, but the third one's really good. I had that one on PSP. That one was really fun.
And Aneurysm says, as long as I don't have to beat it in 60 minutes, I'll be happy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. You know what I realized I forgot that we were going to talk about that we didn't? We were going to talk about Kung Fu Panda.
Oh, I thought we were saving that for the end.
No, I
But
completely forgot about Kung Fu Panda.
so much to say
So
about
much to talk
that.
about a surprising amount to say about Kung Fu Panda 4, yeah. That I've been sitting on all week. um,
Do you want to start?
you go first. You go first. You go first.
Okay. Um, it doesn't look bad per se.
Per se.
Per se. There's things in it that I enjoy, like just from the trailer. And to be fair, I'm just going off the trailer.
Yeah.
But bringing back spoiler for anyone who hasn't seen the trailer, I guess. But they bring back Tai Lung in some capacity.
Mm-hmm.
I think it'll probably be like a very small. He gets summoned and the bad guy absorbs his powers, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Oh, see,
I'm
so you're
kind of hoping
smart.
they
You're
bring
smart.
back,
That'll make sense when I
uh,
explain what I'm going to say later.
I kind of hope that they do the same thing with the peacock from the second one and the one from the third one, and they have like they bring back like in a small capacity or whatever
They are.
each of them.
Yeah.
That being said, why does this exist? The third one kind of had the perfect ending.
I don't know. The
I
third one
don't.
sort of implied there'd be more, didn't it?
Not really. Not from what I remember.
It's been a while.
He was teaching his panda village like he was a teacher, and it was like there wasn't. He was at the apex. He reached inner peace. Shifu was like, some people reach inner peace at a really young age. Apparently, like the entire thing is like.
You want to know the reason why this
What?
exists?
No money.
Well, I was going to say because Jack Black wanted to do another one. That's the only reason. The only reason why the show exists.
But in terms of just of story, I guess is more what I'm saying.
Yeah.
His arc is kind of done.
I mean,
like what the point in this is that like he learned in the last one that he could become a teacher. He had to teach his panda village. So the point in this one
True.
is yet again that he has to learn that he can become a teacher.
well, I guess
Become
more
a
just
character?
and the last one, I guess, if we were to the last one was more about him becoming a Shifu, and this one's about him becoming Oogway. Is the idea?
I mean that just feels like you're just
Adding a hat on a hat, yeah, but I mean, to be fair, Oogway is supposed to be like levels above Shifu, so I I get what you're saying on the one hand. I do get it.
Would actually, I disagree with your. I would say the first one or the second one is maybe about him supposed to being at the level of like Shifu or something. The third one, he's Oogway. He goes to the spirit realm. He takes Oogway's staff. He can turn himself into a giant like key dragon. He gets Oogway's level of talent in the last one.
True.
This is just I don't see the point in this.
I mean, it really
ignoring that's ignoring the fact that like the Aquafina's character, the one that's a thief or whatever, just doesn't seem interesting.
No, so you're like she's the Dragon Warrior, right? She's the new one. Like obviously, it's obvious. Yeah.
It kind of comes across to me.
You're gonna hear what I have to say. Funny.
They want to set up a new main character. Like Jack Black can't do this forever. They want to set up a new hero to take like and kind of move on to the next thing.
Yeah, I don't.
I don't think like I think the what are they called? The Fearless Five, the Fantastic Five, Furious Five. That's it. Thank you. We got there. I think they will not lose pretty handedly in the beginning to this fake chameleon people. They're going to be out of it. Maybe they get beaten so bad they can't fight anymore. I don't know. I don't think they all want to keep coming back for this either.
No, I mean the trailer's a real. The trailer's a real who's who of who's not coming back.
Yeah, like this.
Or not coming back for long, anyway.
I just don't believe they want to keep doing this either.
Yeah, well, they're in it. They are in it. The director of the movie confirmed they are in it. They just have a much smaller role. And you're right. It's going to be a case of the chameleon lady shows up, whoops them, they get taken out of commission. He has to go follow her. He follows her into the city, meets Aquafina, and then Aquafina is like, I can't do a Dragon Warrior. And then Poe's like, do you think I could do a Dragon Warrior? I didn't think I could do a Dragon Warrior. And then she'll learn that she can do a Dragon Warrior. And I'm hoping
anyone
can do a Dragon Warrior. I do think logically that the only time we're going to see Tai Lung is in that one scene that you see in the trailer. The other guys are in there as well. Kai and the Peacock, they're there as well. They are in it as well.
Cool.
My hope My hope is that it's they get beaten, they get their kung fu stolen or whatever, and they have to team up with Poe. And this army that he collects is the villains and Poe, and they all have to team up together.
That would be cool.
That would be
I
cool.
could be down for that.
There's a segment of the internet though, and you're gonna laugh at this, that think that Tai Lung's gonna be the Dragon Warrior. Like legitimately think that Tai Lung is gonna be the
Did they watch the first movie? They do know that the Dragon Warrior isn't like a The Dragon Warrior is like a title. It's not like a power.
Exactly.
Right?
No, they don't. They genuinely think that Tai Lung is gonna get like this huge redemptive arc and become a good guy, and then turn out to be the Dragon Warrior in the end.
I mean, that would be fun. Aneurysm 234 is like, give me a Kyle Gass cameo, please.
Yeah. That'd be funny. That'd be so fun.
That'd be funny.
That'd be so funny.
Have him be just like one of the Kung Fu Warrior that's recruit or something.
Yeah, that'd be fun. I can't believe he hasn't yet.
What animal would you make him?
I feel like another panda. I feel like
Another panda?
I feel like another panda. Yeah. I feel like another panda. He could be like a long lost brother. That'd be fun.
Kate says, "Happy early birthday, Jordan." Thank you. I'm feeling all of the love, even though my birthday's not till Monday. But I'm still feeling all of the love. She says also, "Hi guys." Arete Media says Kung Fu Panda versus Nacho Libre with soundtrack by Tenacious D.
Yes, but it has to be better. Okay, so we got some Tenacious D fans with us today. Is it a hot take to say that Post-Apocalypto was terrible and embarrassing? Is that a hot take? What do people who are, if they're indeed still watching, do you think it is, Jordan? Since you're here with me immediately.
I think that it is bad. I don't get it. It has a lot of humor in there that makes me go like, what were they thinking? And I think that it didn't meet the quality of the rest of their material.
It really did. I believe, as much as I love Tenacious D and I love The Pick of Destiny, that's where my love Genesis is from, but I think musically, I still think that Rise of the Phoenix is their best album. Again, that might be a hot take for Tenacious D fans, but I still think it's their best album. I think they matured the best, I think it sounds the best, and I think it's a bit more it's like, oh, they're not just a comedy band, they're an actual band now.
Thank you, Aneurysm. He says, lol, not really. I really wanted to like it, but it seemed so low effort.
That's it, and that was it felt like a 3-year-old drew it, and that was part of the charm, but it wasn't.
That is probably true. I absolutely believe that. He says, it sounds like they smoked a lot of weed while making it, lol.
Yeah. And it's like,
I absolutely believe that.
It kind of made me lose faith in their ability to write music, because I was like, none of this is very good. And yeah, the animation looked like it was drawn by a 3-year-old, and the fact that they sold it to people was like, oh, that it hurt me. It hurt my soul.
Aneurysm says Rise of the Phoenix is an amazing album. I agree. I really like Rise of the Phoenix. I will always have a soft spot in my heart for like the Pick of Destiny and stuff. But I mean, it's hard for me to pick a favorite. I like bits and pieces from all of them.
It's like picking a favorite child.
Yeah, except for Post-Apocalypto.
That one's straight bad.
And to be honest, until you once again mentioned it, I forgot about it.
It's my job to remind every Tenacious D fan it exists.
It doesn't feel like it's a real. It feels like they wanted to keep the brand alive and keep people remembering them, and so they put something out. JWR says, "Happy birthday!" Thank you, JWR. I know who you are, but I don't know if you want me to say who you are, so I'm just going to use the name that's there.
That makes sense.
But thank you. I appreciate it. My birthday's on Monday, but I appreciate all the early love.
Yes. You were saying.
I was saying that it feels like that it was just a low energy way of keeping people kind of like keeping them in the conscious zeitgeist, if you will, or the conscious aware, like people being aware of them until they could put out a real thing.
Yeah, and it made me lose faith in them, and then And then they put out video games, and it was like, oh no, they're still capable of writing like solid, good music. And it's like that went like insta viral. It was so weird. That and whatever the heck happened with Peaches, that's been a weird experience. Like that's one of those like moments sitting in that movie theater, just being like, just picturing like 5, 6, 7-year-old Justin watching that VHS tape of the Super Mario Brothers Super Show, and just being like, King Koopa would never sing a song. This is so silly, but still loving it.
I mean, what I love about
it was
that
very weird.
Is always going to be the fact that they had the Mario, like, we're the Mario Brothers.
Yeah.
Like, when I
so bizarre. Yeah.
Like, they did the trailer had it first. Right?
Yeah.
Or they put that out early. And it was like, oh my God,
yeah. Yeah, it's great. It's great.
That's on my playlist. I love that song.
I love that song. Let's see. Let's move on to another topic here.
I will always have a soft spot in my heart for it.
Batman Prince. Oh yeah, they're making Saw 11 for some reason. But
I saw Aneurysm. I saw that. I think I saw a clip of that on TikTok. He was a guest at a Jonas Brothers show where he sang Peaches. Lol, so random. And I think he was dressed up like he had the Bowser hair.
I see clips of it
as well.
Yeah, that was. I was a little disappointed by the performance, only in the sense that I was kind of hoping the Jonas Brothers would come out and join him as like a quartet. Like that would have been so good. But yeah, it was a weird combo. Weird, and that's one of those experiences where I'm like, I wonder who called who. Like, who did Jack Black call the Jonas Brothers and was like, can I please dress up as Bowser and sing this song, or did they call him and be like, can you sing Peaches and also bring the costume? Like, I need to know what happened, because that's not the first time he's performed in that costume. That's what's so funny.
Yeah, hasn't he done it on like Ellen or something before? I think.
He did it. He did it at the some video game award. He performed with an orchestra. He had a whole orchestra, and he was like doing flips and shit while they were playing it on the orchestra. It's super funny. He has so much energy for like a 50-year-old man. I'll probably have half the energy he does. I think he's 50. Maybe he might be older than that at this point.
He might be in his 60s.
60 I was gonna say 60, but that feels too old.
That feels old.
Yeah.
It also feels like it could be true.
And even though I have my phone here, I can't be bothered to Google it to find out.
Yeah, that would involve opening another screen.
Exactly.
But no, I love Jack Black. He's one of my favorites, and I love a lot of his movies. Kate says saw that lol in quotes.
Oh yeah.
We're going to talk about Saw.
Oh yeah, Saw. Yes.
Aneurysm says he probably had to promise not to sing a Tenacious D song, so they wouldn't traumatize their fans.
I don't know. I feel like there's a cross section between Tenacious D and Jonas Brothers fans. I feel like that maybe exists. I don't know. Who knows?
Some of them maybe, but you'd have some young fans.
Jack
Black is 54. According to Kate.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so he's in his 50s. Yeah, man, he is amazing. Amazing.
So he's in between. We could have split the difference.
We could have split the difference. Yeah. No, yeah, he's an impressive talent.
Born in 1969. Nice.
So yeah, Saw X. So they're making a Saw 11, and Jigsaw's not going to be in it.
Aneurysm also says nice.
Nice.
Jigsaw's not going to be in it.
Yeah.
So is it going to be the cop dude or the FBI or whatever dude? The apprentice?
Well, okay. There's her name is Jigsaw Girl, but she pops up. She's my Jigsaw News. But apparently, what I heard was they want to do kind of two. Because Saw X was so successful, they're like, okay, the Saw franchise is back, baby. We can do this. So there's one that's apparently going to take place afterwards. And then there's one, and it's gonna finish off the Hoffman saga, and it's like, oh, he lived, and you're gonna find out what happened to him, and then the someone's calling. Someone's calling in. Who's calling in?
Hi.
Hi, Kelly.
Hi. Welcome to the podcast.
Hi. How are you guys doing?
Oh, we're good. We're just talking about Saw.
Saw?
Saw, yeah, the horror movie with Jigsaw.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were talking
Benny
about.
Smalls.
Sorry.
Oh, Benny Smalls is licking me up the nose.
Oh, that's funny.
He does it every time I get on my phone and talk to somebody.
It's very funny. Yeah,
Why are you
they're.
paying attention to me?
Why are you not paying attention to me? Yeah, we're talking about they after Saw X, they're making a Saw 11, and it's not going to have Jigsaw in it, even though he's the reason the last one was popular. So
Because they brought him
What?
back.
yeah, because they brought him back, and so everyone showed up, and they also made it really violent, like absurdly like it's probably the most violent Saw movie, I think, right? You would say?
I didn't actually get a chance to watch it yet.
Oh, it's. I mean, if you like Saw, I would say it's probably the first Saw movie that is a good movie. It's weird because they've decided that Jigsaw needs to be the good guy now.
Even though he's not.
Even though he's not. So there's like scenes where he's like in the park and just like doodling, like drawing jigsaw traps in his like little notebook, and he's looking off, and it's framed as though, oh, what a lovely, nice old man, as he's just like sketching out murder devices. and like the movie ends where he makes a little child friend, and the child friend accidentally gets trapped in a jigsaw trap, and they manage to save him, but him and his apprentice like walk off into the sunset together holding hands, and it's like a happy ending. It's super fucking weird.
The psychopath that likes to torture people, but it's a happy ending.
But it's a happy ending.
No, it's totally
I don't know what-
consistent.
I don't know what to think about that.
Neither did we. Yeah, we were like, and like, Kelly, have you seen the first Saw movie?
Huh?
Have you seen the first Saw movie?
Of course.
Okay, so do you know how in the first Saw movie, when Dr. Gordon goes to saw off his leg, they like you kind of see
Yeah.
it, but they like yeah. So this one, you full bore see it, man. You straight up just see her saw right through her leg, and it's like they hold on it, and it's gross. Like I think I looked. Did I look away? I might have looked away. I might have went, oh no, it's too much. Stop it, please.
Aneurysm says, I think the last Saw movie I watched was the one with Chester Bennington. Lol, they were never as good as the first one.
Oh, the one with Chester. That's the seventh one. I like the seventh one because I think it has a. I think the ending of bringing back Dr. Gordon is clever, and it was something that people were kind of speculating for years. So it's kind of fun to see him come back and be like, oh, he's been working with Jigsaw the whole time, and that's actually going back to the.
As the writers saw it, we're like, hey, that's a good idea. We should actually do that.
Well, that's one of the. They want to make 2 Jigsaw movies going forward. They want to make the one that takes place afterwards, after Saw 7, and then they want to make a prequel one. And I think the prequel one they should bring back Dr. Gordon. I forget the actor's name. But they should bring him back and have him be the main character.
Cary Elwes.
Thank you, Cary Elwes. Bring back Cary Elwes and have it be he's the protagonist of it. And maybe do something similar to Jigsaw where you make him a good guy and have it where he's like by day a good guy doing like doctor stuff, and then at night he's helping Jigsaw do jigsaw traps, and sort of bridge the gap of how he got to, because in Saw 7 he's unsettling. He's like creepy. He shows up and he's like, oh, you're bragging about being in a jigsaw trap when you're not in one. You shouldn't do that. He's really like, I don't know, his like tone of voice is really unsettling. Yeah.
Cold
Isn't there
and
one that is
calculated.
sort of a prequel?
Say again, sorry?
Isn't there one that is sort of a prequel already? It's like his first trap.
Well, there's the one that just came out, which takes place between 1 and 2, and then in Jigsaw, in Saw, 4 or 5. I think it might be 5. One of the later ones, there's a sequence where, I think you probably may have seen it as a meme, where they do a flashback to when he's younger, and instead of doing de-aging makeup, they just put him in a backwards baseball cap and call it a day. That's either.
No, I mean like an actual full-on movie where it takes place before 1.
Oh no, not that I know of. Other than there's a short film. There's a short film they did that takes place before, but maybe they did. I have yet to hear about it. Other than the only 2 that I know of that are out of the quote unquote canon are Spiral, which is Chris Rock, which isn't Jigsaw but takes place in the same universe, and then there's one that's just called Jigsaw that so it's like a copycat. But, yeah, maybe there is. I've never heard of it. That is a research topic for next week, I guess.
Yeah, the movie Jigsaw in 2017.
Oh yeah, that is that I think takes place afterwards. That is
No,
I think is it before? Is it before?
It takes place. It says it takes place before the first Saw, where we see Kramer enact one of his earliest traps, and Saw 3 and Saw 4 actually taking place simultaneously.
Oh, well, there you go. Oh, interesting. To be fair, I only saw that one. Yeah, I only saw that one once. So yeah, I guess I just learned something. Yeah, I didn't know that. Interesting.
And Aneurysm says Young Jigsaw is one of the greatest scenes in movie history, next to them making Michael C. Hall wear a long-haired wig to play teenage Dexter.
I never watched Dexter. I've only seen the first episode. I watched one episode and I was like, this just isn't doing it for me. I've got enough procedurals on my hands right now, and I just never went back to it. And then everyone said the ending was bad, so I never finished it.
Yeah, I never got into Dexter.
No, it never did anything for me.
No, I've never seen that one.
And you would think it would, because like the concept of like the bad guy killing bad guys, like that sounds interesting in concept. But yeah, when the first episode was just like, it's just another procedural with like a moderately interesting twist.
Yep.
Okay,
Nothing will beat the first Saw in terms of twist.
No, and they kept trying to.
Saw it coming.
I didn't see it coming.
No, neither did I.
I remember that's one of those like inside out core memories where it's like I remember being in my room and like, holy crap, when he got up and he walked away, that blew my mind.
Yeah. Aneurysm says it definitely goes downhill.
Yeah, it does, yeah.
Yeah.
And they definitely do. But, I mean, I think it's like a curve, because I think they sort of sag in the middle, but I really do like the seventh one, and I really do like so it's like, I don't think they're all bad. The only one that I ever said was actually bad is the sixth one, because that's the point where they're like, he's just doing it for revenge. There's no like moral reasons for what he's doing, and it's, I mean, to be fair, he's a monster and there are no moral reasons for what he's doing, but that's the point where he's just like, yeah, I'm killing people for a sense of petty revenge, not to send a message. Yeah, that was the one I believe was just straight bad.
Aneurysm says John Lithgow plays an amazing actor though, or amazing character though. Right?
I've heard he's really good as one of the serial killers.
I've heard that too.
Yeah, that's one of the things that it's pushed me to like want to check it out, because I've heard he's really good, and there's another one in there that's really good that I've heard. But yeah, I've just never. And then I heard the ending was bad. And once you hear the ending, it's the same reason why I've never finished Game of Thrones. Because, like, once you hear the ending is bad, it becomes so demotivating to want to finish it. You're like, I know. But
that's why whenever I'm going to watch something new, I try not to. Like, I like to go into it without any other people's feedback, because if you say that it's really, really, really good, then it's just not as good as you're making it sound, then I'm disappointed. Or if you say it's bad, then no, why would I? You've said it's bad. Why would I want to go watch this? Like, so that's just me though. So what's next on the news, Jeff?
I know we're gonna move on to DC news. We're gonna talk about Shazam, and we're gonna talk about the DCU a bit. And what Zachary Levi said about Sean Gunn, people are asking him if he's gonna come back to be Shazam, and they've pretty much wiped out everybody, right? So like they're like, Gal Gadot is not coming back. That Wonder Woman movie they said was happening is not happening. No Henry Cavill, obviously, and no Ben Affleck, and they're asking, is Zachary Levi coming back? Oh, John Cena's coming back as Peacemaker. But they're like, is Zachary Levi coming back? And he's like, I'd love to. I'd love to come back. I was happy with what we did or whatever. And then they're asking him about Sean Gunn being James Gunn's brother, and how Sean Gunn is, he's Kraglin, if in the Guardians of the Galaxy movie, if you don't know him by name. And he does the body CGI work for Rocket. And in... He always does a small role in James Gunn's project. So in his Suicide Squad, he did the body motion for the Weasel, and then he was Calendar Man. and so they've announced that he's going to be playing Maxwell Lord in the DCU.
Oh.
And I really hope that character breaks a neck. I mean leg. That's a joke only comic book people will get. And so Zachary Levi was basically like, I guess when you're the brother of the guy in charge, you can be whoever you want, which basically means Zachary Levi's never coming back now.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what that means.
So
I mean, can you blame him?
I like him. Sorry, Jordan.
In the chat, Aneurysm says Colin Hanks. I'd for sure compare it to Game of Thrones. Kate says, same. I have no desire to watch Game of Thrones now. Aneurysm says, I've wanted to rewatch Game of Thrones, but the last season is what's kept me from rewatching.
Exactly.
Aneurysm then says, let's just cram 3 books worth of story into 6 hours.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, they totally
absolutely.
rushed the last season.
Hey, man, if George R. R. Martin could finish a book, I'm just saying, if he could actually sit down and write and finish a book, then we wouldn't have these problems.
Well, they could have easily have spread it out. They just wanted to rush it.
I mean, yeah, that's because Damon D&D wanted to go off and do Star Wars, and then the Star Wars movie got canceled because the last season of Game of Thrones was bad, and it's super funny. That's what you get.
Zachary Levi seems Aneurysm says, Zachary Levi seems kind of full of himself lately. The whole thing with him and The Rock was a trip. Ha ha ha.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I mean, the Rock needs to shelve his ego as well, and I think he's kind of starting to do that a bit because he's getting dragged in the press for being an egomaniac. But Shazam. Well, I mean, when you rewatch Shazam, it's very apparent that the bad guy in that movie was supposed to be The Rock, the Black Adam.
You mean the second one? Or
no, the first one. All of his dialogue about being a chosen one and being this and that is all clearly supposed to be he was supposed to be Black Adam. And then he didn't want to do that. Okay, great, I get it. That's fine. You want to go do your own Black Adam movie, whatever. Go do your own Black Adam movie. But then, like, do Shazam 2? Like, why wasn't he in Shazam 2? The fact that it was Helen Mirren and Lucy Liu instead of The Rock is weird. Because it's like, if it's an ego thing, and it's like, you want to split he's afraid of splitting the billing, he's still getting half the billing. He's still half the board you could still market it as he's a big bad deal, right? You could still make him the focal point of the fight. But, like, him doing his own movie where he's a Shazam guy across the world, but yet there's already a Shazam guy, but they're aware of the Shazam guy, so why didn't they call the Shazam guy to come help them stop this? It was weird. It tried so hard to ignore the fact that Shazam was out there. It was very bizarre.
There we go. So, sorry, chat, real quick. Average Intelligence Productions first said, happy birthday, Justin. Let me finish. Part of your Broadway World podcast says, happy birthday, Justin. And then Average Intelligent Production says, Jordan, damn autocorrect. So yes, it is my birthday. Thank you.
Oh, that's weird.
And now part of your Broadway World podcast also says happy birthday, Jordan. Thank you.
Real quick, I'm going to take a quick sec here to those are two of the podcasts that are on fellow podcasts that are on our network, the Arate Podcast Network. You guys can, whoever's watching this, aratemedia.org. That's where everything is. That's where this goes. We're also on Spotify as well. And then this video will go live. Everything's going good so far, fingers crossed. Last week we got cut off midway, so hopefully that doesn't happen again. Yes, so with that in mind, thank you guys for tuning in. And where were we? My focus has now been diverted. We were talking about.
By the way, happy birthday, Jordan.
Thank you. It's not till Monday, but we're thank you. I'm feeling the love early. I appreciate it.
Shazam, we were talking about Shazam, yes.
About Shazam, yes.
All of it is sort of irrelevant because he's not coming back now because he said shit. He talked shit about the guy in charge's brother. Because put it to I don't know. Kelly, you might feel the same way. If I were in charge of a thing, and one of my employees shat talk my brother, you know what I would do so fucking fast?
Fire them.
Fire their fucking asses!
Find some legitimate excuse to get rid of them.
Yeah, exactly. We can recast Shazam.
Background. We're gonna cash you out. We're gonna have another person take this forward. They're rebranding the entire universe, so it just doesn't really make sense for us to keep you. We have to have a new one.
I know we say we were gonna, but
anyway.
Exactly, yeah. Hey man, I'm excited. The thing is, and I've said this before, and I'll say it 1,000 times. I love the Guardians movies. I love Guardians of the Galaxy 1 through 3. And when James Gunn is restrained by a PG to PG-13 rating, I love him. He gets to be kind of annoying when he's allowed to be R-rated. But when he's restrained a little bit, so when he's restrained down to a PG rating for Superman, I'm ready for just the schmaltziest, most emotional, like, Superman movie we've ever had. Like, there's some characters that are going to be in it that I'm excited for.
I mean, hopefully he learned from the last guy's mistake and doesn't have him snap anyone's neck.
Yeah, exactly. The one that I casting.
My big thing here is Superman doesn't snap necks.
The one I knew that unless he has to, unless he's an evil Superman.
Or if a certain supervillain has taken control of him.
Exactly. But the moment,
the Lord, if you will,
the moment I knew that the James Gunn Superman movie was going to be okay was when they announced who's playing Jimmy Olsen. I don't remember his actual name, but you know the kid from Santa Clarita Diet, who's the daughter's best friend.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's Jimmy Olsen.
Okay.
Yeah, he's the most Jimmy Olsen you could possibly be. Like, I don't think there's more pitch-perfect friggin' casting than that.
No, that works for me pretty well.
I mean, it's better than what Zack Snyder did to him, which was shoot him in the head in the desert.
Can we just, collectively never talk about those movies again?
Once the new one comes out, I think we can do that.
Yeah.
I think we can do that. So,
let it fade into the annals of history and not acknowledge it anymore.
Not acknowledge it.
That's what I'd like to do.
So, okay. So with that all having said, I think that'll wrap up our news section. Here's where I normally would. I like to practice doing my sponsorship shout outs, even though we don't have any sponsors yet. We're still looking for one. Jordan?
We can sell stuff.
That's enough. That's too much. It's too much. You're still doing too much. But you could have that if you want to sponsor us and pay us to sell your stuff. But you got to pay us to do it. That's the key. But usually this would be the spot. This would be the spot I would shout out the network. But we've already done that. So for today, we're gonna shout out every person who stopped by today to say happy birthday to Jordan. Jordan. This is your opportunity to thank all the people who have stopped by.
I'm blown away by the fact that this chat has been so bustling today. All the birthday thank yous, thank you. It's early, but thank you. You make me feel special and appreciated, and I like that. Happy feelings all around. Thumbs up to everyone. And on with the show.
Excellent. So, with that, we're going to do book reports, Jordan. It's book report time. Jordan gets to talk about a thing he watched, and because it's his birthday, normally I force him to watch something he hasn't seen. But this week I allowed him to pick stuff he's seen. So what have you picked, Jordan?
So, all right. Now I'm gonna say it, and you all are gonna think that I'm talking about a Christmas movie. But my argument is that this is not a Christmas movie. It has Christmas theming, and it is. No, that's funny that you say that, but no. That did occur to me, but no. I'm going to be talking about Home Alone 1 and 2, which are not Christmas movies. They have Christmas theming, but they're not Christmas movies.
Okay.
How are they not Christmas movies?
Defend yourself, sir.
If you take the first movie and you put it on any other holiday, Thanksgiving, pardon me, Thanksgiving, or any other holiday kind of situation, the movie plays out the same. They go to Paris to visit family in this they have said it's Christmas, but you could go to Paris to visit family for Thanksgiving. You could go for any holiday and visit in Paris. Um,
Yeah, I don't think
and
France has Thanksgiving though.
no, but the point in this movie is that they have moved from America to Paris. That's why they're in like the family that they're going to visit. They're going to visit the brother who has recently moved from America to France. They could
Oh,
still
touche,
celebrate American Thanksgiving in France. Um,
touche.
and so the point of the movie is not so much about the holiday itself. It's about Kevin McAllister defending his home from burglars who are breaking in. And also, as a side, Kevin McAllister is a psychopath. Absolutely a psychopath. Right from the beginning, he can't pack a suitcase in the beginning of the movie, but yet somehow, partway through the movie, he's capable of making death traps to attempt to murder these burglars. Who, also as an aside, once they break into the house, completely give up on burgling the house and just want to murder this kid, which I don't think is fair. He has done nothing but psychotic death traps. In fact, I would go so far as to argue that this kid grows up to be the bringing this full circle back to Saw. He grows up to be the Kramer.
That's a popular fan theory. He changed his name to John Kramer.
Because he is, or he builds security traps for the people in the Purge. I could take either theory; both work for me.
That was my pitch for Home Alone when they announced they were doing a Home Alone reboot. That was my pitch for the Home Alone reboot, was that it should be it's adult Kevin McAllister, and he is in charge of or he's the CEO of a security company, and he's built all sorts of like security traps or whatever, and the movie's about his kid. I always thought that. So yeah, I always thought that would become his adult persona.
I absolutely believe that that's what he would do, and that would be a fantastic another movie. But so. Yeah, no. The only things that make this a quote-unquote Christmas movie is that it takes place at Christmas, which we have already said it could take place at any other holiday.
Yeah, you're right.
And that it has Christmas music in it, which again does nothing. It's just to make you think
it's just
Christmas.
the setting. Yeah, it just takes place at. You know what? You've convinced me. That's you made a stellar case. That's a very good point.
And so then we go into the second movie, which again they frame it around Christmas so that they could sell it as a Christmas movie. But otherwise, they're just going to Florida to visit family.
Yeah, absolutely.
Florida, I think it was.
I don't remember.
True.
And he gets lost. He gets lost on a plane and ends up in New York.
I mean, the second one's the same movie.
Yeah, nothing in that has to happen at Christmas. It happens at Christmas, so they can market it and sell it as a Christmas movie.
Absolutely, yeah. That's a very good point. That's a solid point.
Aneurysm 23. It says Macaulay Culkin has a YouTube video where he plays an adult Kevin McAllister.
Yeah, I've seen it. It's really good.
I think he's an Uber driver or something with deep-seated trauma about how his parents ditched him every Christmas.
Yeah. It ends with him saying, "I'm Kevin McAllister, bitch," or something like that. Yeah, it's great. It's a good sketch. It's great. As an aside, Macaulay Culkin is hilarious.
Oh, he's very funny. He was on a YouTube channel that we watch. Which, it was very funny to see him on that.
One of my favorite things he ever did was he interviewed a swarm of bees once for like one of his YouTube or internet things. It's just him, and he's just interviewing a swarm of bees. It's super weird. It's super funny. Anyway, sorry, go on.
So to reinforce my thought process that he's a psychopath here. So he's right from the offset very, very, very antagonistic towards his family, which I argue his family is also antagonistic towards him, but that's besides the point. And then he wishes that his family doesn't exist, wakes up the next day, and does not show any remorse for the fact that, as far as he's concerned, as an 8-year-old child, he has wished his family out of existence and murdered them. And does not show like any remorse or anything like that. But proceeds to celebrate and be happy and go and continue living life as if he didn't just murder his family.
The only thing,
again, as far as he's
The only reason why he wants the family to come back is because two adults are trying to kill him. If they didn't try to kill him, he was perfectly fine. I think, right?
Oh, and that's the other thing. At a certain point, so at one point in the movie, they're like the phone lines aren't working there, which I guess is supposed to explain why he doesn't phone
Yeah,
the police, even though
Marv
he's already
cuts the phone lines. I'm pretty sure.
even though he's already left the house multiple times and could just leave the house.
Yeah.
And like, but then see, that's where it's confusing because later on, I guess he's in the neighbor's house, and then he does phone the police. So like, you could just go across the street and phone the police.
Yeah.
Also, my point of them giving up on robbing the house. There's a point where Kevin McAllister takes the zip line to his treehouse. And they're standing in the window, like at the zip line, and they go to climb out and chase him. And it's like, he's left you alone in the house. You guys wanted to rob the house.
Yeah, this was a whole force of you being there.
Like you've sprung all his traps, or at least most of them. Rob the house and get the hell out of here.
Right? Do what you came here to do.
You guys are bad.
Yeah.
You guys are bad at your job.
It's
I mean is the point. They are bad at their job.
It's funny to me. That you're like Home Alone's not a Christmas movie because there's been so many comparisons over the years that Home Alone is Die Hard for 8-year-olds, and one more comparison we can add to that is now this debate of is it a Christmas movie? It's funny that Kelly said Die Hard immediately because you kind of did pick Die Hard in a way.
Yeah, I knew what she was talking about.
Yeah,
that's a big debate is whether or not Die Hard is.
That's so funny. I never thought of that before.
One thing that I find funny about Home Alone, I'm just gonna list off a few funny things here. It was made in 1990, so
really?
It is as old as you are.
Really? I didn't know that. I thought it was newer than that. Yeah, I thought it was newer than that.
Filming?
It is not 33 years old.
Filming took place between February and May 1990 on location. And it says release dates November 10th, 1990 in Chicago, and November 16th, 1990 in the rest of the United States.
That's how it got that Christmas reputation. It came out in November.
Yeah. So it was I think it was intended. Like they want you to think it's a Christmas movie.
Yeah, but no.
They frame it to be a Christmas movie. It was filmed for a Christmas release.
Yeah.
But it's not a Christmas movie.
Yeah, that's very interesting. I think. But then that always constitutes. Sorry.
All right, real quick. Aneurysm says, LMFAO. I need to find that B interview, and then he says, did everybody else think Angels with Filthy Souls was a real movie when you were kids? I spent so many years trying to find it before I found out it was made for the movie.
I thought it was
Kate says, I didn't.
Sorry, go on.
And then Kate says, I didn't realize it was older than me. Me neither. I didn't either until I looked all
Apparently,
this up.
Wait, November 1990? It is not older than me. I was born in June 1990, so I'm a few months old at that point.
Released in 1992.
Home Alone 1 is 3 years younger than me.
Interesting. Yeah, that would make sense. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. I didn't know it was. I thought it came out. I thought that the second one came out later, and like 95. I would have guessed Home Alone 1 was like 92, 93. That surprises me. That is older than I thought.
Home Alone 2. Yeah, Home Alone 2 came out in 1992.
Wow.
Oh Jesus.
Wow. That's a long time ago.
And another interesting fact. In 2023, Home Alone was selected for preservation in the National Film Registry by the Library of Congress as culturally, historically, or aesthetically significant.
I mean, I wouldn't throw too much stone behind that. They preserve movies that shouldn't have been preserved. You want to know what was preserved in that little group there? Birth of a Nation. That movie was preserved there instead of being burned, which it should be. It should be burned.
It had a budget of $18 million apparently. And the box office was $476.7 million.
Is it?
Also, an interesting thing. Where was it? There it is. Hugh conceived of Home Alone while on vacation with Warner Brothers, being originally intended to finance and distribute the film, but Warner Brothers shut down production after it exceeded its assigned budget. And meetings with Hughes.
Oh, interesting. Oh wait, John Hughes wrote the first one, right? Or did he write the second one too?
I don't know if he wrote the second one, but he did the first one.
How did I forget it was a John Hughes movie? That explains why I like that movie. I love John Hughes. I've never seen a John Hughes movie I didn't like.
Kate says Macaulay recently got his Hollywood Star of Fame, I think.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Yes, he was there with his beautiful wife, Brenda Song, who he has 2 kids with, I think.
Oh yeah. Brenda Song.
Yeah.
Right, I forgot about that.
He's
That's weird.
He's got like my like really. It's very funny because he was like he's obviously roughly. I think he either is the same age or is roughly the same age we are. No, I guess he must be a few years older if he was 6. Yeah, but he's within this age range, so we have a kind of a similar sense of humor. So he's just. I love how his bit is. He's just weird now as an adult. Like I'm really happy he started to come back into acting because I want to see him do some like comedies because he's so funny.
This makes sense. So he was born 1980, August 26, 1980.
So he's 10 years older.
When he did the first movie, and when in the first movie he's supposed to be 8.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
So he's 7 years older than me.
He's 10 years older than me. That makes sense. That makes sense. But he's a millennial technically, I guess. But he's funny. He's a funny
43.
guy. He's got a very bizarre sense of humor, and he doesn't.
He might be a Gen Xer actually.
Oh, is he? Or well, I know there's I discovered a term recently, a Zennial, which is like you're like on the cusp of being Gen X and on the cusp of being a millennial. Because technically before us it's Gen X, I think.
Yeah, he's a Zennial.
Yeah.
Because millennials are 1981 to 1996.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So millennial. Okay, so I got some stuff to say about Home Alone. Surprisingly, Home Alone. There's a really good if you are familiar with Mark Rober on YouTube. He's a science YouTuber. He has a really good series of videos where they tested what would happen if Home Alone traps happened to your face, and it was bloody and gruesome and awesome. And I highly recommend it. It's quite good.
And he enjoys it.
Yeah.
He enjoys making these criminals suffer. He gets a deep-seated enjoyment out of it in both the first and second one. And shows no remorse. And laughs.
much more broadly on the topic of whether or not it's a Christmas movie or not. That does sort of beg the question of what constitutes a Christmas movie? Does it have to be about Christmas? Is that what constitutes a Christmas movie?
Apparently he was on an episode of Angry Video Game Nerd too.
Yes, he was.
Says Aneurysm.
When they played the Home Alone game.
What constitutes a Christmas movie? For me, it has to be centered around the very idea of family. So Christmas, the holiday, being together, and the movie. It can't just be like if you took this movie. Basically, it has to be, Christmas has to be so ingrained into it that you can't separate it. So, like for example, the Santa Claus is about Santa Claus.
Right.
That is about Christmas. That is a Christmas movie.
So okay.
It's not just a movie. It is not just a movie that you could take and put it on another day, any other day of the year, and have the events play out exactly the same.
So say Legend of the Guardians, which has Santa Claus in it, that's not a Christmas movie.
Legends of the Guardian is not specifically.
No, that's the Guardians of Ga'Hoole.
That's the one where it took me a second to think of it. Where all the various Easter Bunny, Tooth Fairy, Santa Claus, Jack Frost team up against the boogeyman, Pitch Darkness, to stop him from basically making everybody forget about them. No, that's not a Christmas movie because it is not squarely based around Christmas. It is all of the holidays coming together to defeat this greater darkness.
Yeah. Okay. So fair enough. So here's my hot. It's not a Christmas movie. I've said this to you before. It's a Wonderful Life is not a Christmas movie.
Okay.
That's because the only part of that movie that takes place at Christmas is the very end of it, and only the last 15 minutes is not about Christmas. That movie has very little to do with Christmas. It's just mostly about this one guy's life and how sad he is. That's all that movie is. And then at one point he verbally abuses his children and wife. That's what that movie is.
Aneurysm says, in regards to the angry video game nerd, he's like, they obviously played terrible Home Alone games.
Yep.
Kate then says the plot being, in answer to the question, the plot being centered around the holiday. And Aneurysm says, does that mean Jingle All the Way is a heist film?
But I would have see Jingle All the Way. I would say is a Christmas movie because that's about getting a gift for Christmas. That's about Christmas. And is it a heist movie? Oh, that's an interesting question. I don't know. Is it a heist movie?
I can see it being a Christmas heist movie.
Yeah, it's definitely a Christmas. That's a Christmas movie. That's a classic Christmas movie.
To me, that's very much a Christmas, because you can't. That one is about him getting a Christmas present. I suppose you could redo it, and it's like he's trying to get a birthday present.
Yeah, but even then, that has so much Christmas identity. I mean, there's the reindeer. There's Phil Hartman getting punched in the face.
To me, yeah, there's the reindeer, and there's the fact that it ends with him at a Christmas parade.
Exactly, yeah.
Which you can't really
Macy's, I think.
That scene, because I think it's the Macy's parade. Because my way of looking at it is like, if you can take the movie like pretty much exactly as it is without having to majorly rewrite scenes, kind of thing, and slap it onto another holiday, then that kind of work. But
yeah,
this example,
but you're not
going to fight to get him a gift for like a Thanksgiving, for example.
Yeah.
So that you're not going to have a Thanksgiving parade, because you could have the Thanksgiving parade instead.
Exactly.
But if it ends up with him at a parade, it Christmas lodge.
To use your criteria, then that definitely eliminates Die Hard from being a Christmas movie, because you're right. That movie could take place at any work party.
Aneurysm says, laugh my ass off. Nothing says Christmas like Phil Hartman getting punched in the face.
Exactly. That's how you know it's time. I watch it every year. You know what? I actually recently watched Vice's. I got really into Vice's Dark Side of Blank series. So they've got a few. They've got the Dark Side of the 90s. They've got the Dark Side of Comedy, and then they've got the Dark Side of Wrestling. And there was an episode on Phil Hartman, and I feel bad making jokes about Phil Hartman because bad stuff happened to him. He had a very sad. Him and his wife had a very tumultuous relationship. But he's very funny. He's very funny in that movie. It's such a shame. He's such a tragic loss. But he's very funny in that movie. He's also Troy McClure. He's a bunch of voices on The Simpsons. Lionel, Monorail guy. But that movie's very much a Christmas movie. It's definitely that you couldn't take that and put that at Thanksgiving. I don't think.
No, I don't think you could either.
Jordan, was there anything else you had to say about? Sorry.
In terms of that one, especially because the reason why the toys are all gone is because it's the Christmas season and everybody is buying them up like crazy.
Exactly.
It doesn't really work if it's just this kid's birthday. Then they would have plenty of toys for him to get.
Exactly.
He'd go to the store, buy one, come home, and be there on time.
Exactly. Now, Jordan, do you have anything else?
Now the question is though.
Sorry.
Nightmare Before Christmas, Halloween or Christmas movie?
Oh, that's also an age-old question.
That's I would say holiday movie. It's both.
I think
say that too.
I think it's multifunctional as well. I mean, I would say its identity is more Halloween-esque, mostly because it's more gothic. So it definitely gives off. Even when they get to Christmas, it's Christmas. But if someone were wearing Christmas costumes at Halloween, for whatever reason, it's like, dude, it's like 2 months. You can wait. Like it's like one of those moments. But
Kate says neither.
Neither. Why? Okay, why neither? That's an interesting take. I've never heard someone say neither.
Sorry, Kate, you're gonna have to clarify here. Do you mean neither as in like it's both? It can be either. It can be. She says, I think Halloween cosplaying Christmas.
Halloween cos. Yes. But that still makes it a Halloween movie, does it not? I definitely agree with that assessment. It's definitely Halloween cosplaying Christmas.
She says, I'm just not a fan of that movie. That's why. No valid argument here. That's fair.
Fair. Hey man, look, we respect all opinions. Opinions are like butts. Everyone's got one. It's that is completely fair.
If I was forced to pick one, if I was forced to say straight like is it straight out? Is it Halloween or Christmas? I would have to say Halloween because it leans more on that side.
Yeah, same.
But I think it generally could be. You could watch it at either time and it would work.
Yes.
It's kind of my
Yes.
Both.
So, okay. Jordan, you got anything else to say about Home Alone before I move on to my book report? So, before we move on to mine, I'm just going to do this now because we're talking about Christmas anyway. Next week, we will not be here Saturday because it's Christmas. We're going to be here maybe on Sunday, on Christmas Eve. We're gonna do a Christmas special. Hopefully the schedule might change. I'm not sure, but I'm hoping to do it Christmas Eve, and we're going to do. We're going to change the rules again because it's Christmas. We're doing one Christmas movie we each haven't seen, and we're going to do one we have seen, our favorite. And Jordan, we both can't pick The Grinch. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I have some
Animated?
other choices.
No, the Jim Carrey one. So that's my. I think it's so funny because I saw our friend Jake from the Arte podcast and Average Intelligence podcast. He posted a video where he asked the question, "What is your guilty pleasure Christmas movie?" And it's sitting in my favorites because I can't think of a guilty pleasure Christmas movie. I don't feel guilty about any Christmas movie I like, and my favorite is probably The Grinch. It's the first immediate one I could think of.
That I watch every year.
But
there's two Christmas movies that I watch every year, and that's one of them.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna be picking the other one.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm thinking about from the one I've seen. I'm thinking about picking because I recommended it to you for it to be the one you haven't seen. But I don't know. I really want to rewatch Violent Night because that movie's really good. If you haven't seen, have you seen Violent Night? I think I recommended Violent Night to you. Did I not?
Yeah, but we already watched it. I watched it with my dad in theaters.
Oh, did you? You got to see it in theaters? Oh, that's rad. I didn't get to see it in theaters. I saw it on streaming. It's really good.
Yeah.
I was surprised by how good it was. I was like, they're making a sequel, and people are like, what do you do with a sequel? And I'm like, other holiday figures who are violent. Like, I want to see a Easter Bunny who does a murder. Like, come on, this is what this franchise should be.
You're telling me they're not going to make
for
one
St. Patrick's Day.
Exactly.
You're telling me they're not going to make one about the tooth fairy who goes around ripping people's teeth out?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. But I recommended that one to Jordan.
Just writes itself.
I'm torn between that and
I have a guilty pleasure Christmas movie.
Okay. Which one?
It's one I've watched since I was little. It's the Care Bears Nutcracker.
I don't feel bad about watching kids. I watch kids Christmas specials every year. I don't feel guilty about that, but fair enough.
I'll watch kids Christmas movies on a Tuesday in the middle of July if I feel like it.
Yeah.
There's no guilt here.
There's no shame. There's no guilt. That's a fun one. The Nutcracker special. I remember that one. That one was scary when I was a kid. I remember the Rat King being scary.
Oh, you want scary for a child? Watch the very first My Little Pony movie.
I've seen clips of it. It's pretty scary. It is. It's genuinely scary. The bad guy. That was a weird choice. They made a weird choice with that movie.
Yeah.
I've seen clips of it. It is genuinely terrifying. Sorry, Jordan.
Aneurysm says, I've seen The Grinch more times than I can count, and then proceeds to say, I actually just went and saw The Pretty Reckless with a friend recently. The singer is the girl who plays Cindy Lou Who.
Oh, yeah. Really?
Yeah, Taylor Momsen, right?
Yeah.
I had heard that she was in a rock band. That I did know about.
Apparently, it's quite good.
And then he proceeds to say, Charlie Brown Christmas is the GOAT.
That's a good one too. Yeah, that one's a good one.
That's a classic.
That's a real classic.
I've seen that one a few too many times though. That it's like I can't at this point.
For mine, it's either gonna be Violent Night or Spirited. It's probably gonna be the one I've seen before.
Oh, that's a good one.
Because I feel like they're putting it back in theaters this year because obviously the strike, they're desperate for content. But I really want. I really like that. I really want more people to have seen it. I think people haven't given enough credit because they saw like and they rolled their eyes. But any movie that gives Will Ferrell 3 solos, I mean it's an instant classic. Seriously, he's got 3 solos in that movie. Like I bring it up every time I talk about it because it's like Ryan Reynolds is a much better singer, but for whatever reason he gets 1 solo and Will Ferrell cuts it off. But yet Will Ferrell gets 3 uninterrupted solos in that movie. It's so wild. And they're good songs. They're not bad songs. It's just really funny.
Kate agrees that Charlie Brown Christmas is the GOAT.
That is a good one. That's a solid classic. I do like that one.
It is a classic.
Yeah.
It's a classic for a reason.
I mean, I grew up on the Charlie Brown Easter special. That one I love. It's the great.
There's so many. There's so many good ones.
Yeah.
The Pumpkin, the Easter one, Christmas one. Yeah, no. Charlie Brown is great. I love Charlie Brown.
Oh, real quick.
I will put on the most recent one sometimes just because it makes me smile.
Yeah.
It's cute.
Did you watch? Have either of you seen?
I watched.
Sorry.
Kate says I watched the Muppet Christmas Carol and Disney Plus cut out The Love Is Gone. Totally wrecks character development.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, Muppet Christmas Carol. That's another good choice. That one's really good because Michael Caine, he took it 1,000% seriously. So he treats all of the Muppets as though they're like, I mean, real actors, but he treats it as if he's acting with people. Like he takes it 1,000% seriously. He fully commits to the role, and it's genuinely one of the best adaptations of A Christmas Carol. If we're talking adaptations of A Christmas Carol. Another really good one is on Netflix, and it's that one that went stupid viral last year, where it was I can't remember what it's called. I think it's just called A Christmas Carol, but it's got Luke Evans in it, and it's a musical. And there's this duet that he sings with the love interest that's really haunting and beautiful, and is way better than the movie it's in. That is really good. It's one of those, like, if you're looking for like a Christmas Carol movie that's like more traditional but still a little different, it's quite good. I can do it.
That looks really cheap, right?
Yeah, but the music's good. The music's like, well, actually, the one song is really good. The rest of the music is okay.
Fair enough.
Yeah. I could do a whole episode talking just about A Christmas Carol adaptations.
I mean,
did
a few.
Did you see? I didn't make you watch this. I should have because I wanted to talk about it. But did you see that trailer for that new Ryan Reynolds movie? Speaking of Ryan Reynolds, where it's the Imaginary Friends.
I don't think so.
Oh, it's I should have showed it to you. Very basically, it's written and directed by John Krasinski, and I couldn't work out what the plot of it is from the trailer, but it's like Ryan Reynolds is like a caretaker of imaginary friends, and his daughter, niece, younger female character discovers them, and it's a really whimsical, fun-looking, cute movie. It's called If. And it just looks really wholesome and sweet, and I love the fact that Ryan Reynolds is in his I want my kids to be able to watch my movies phase. Every actor who has kids goes through it. Even the guy who makes South Park, he went through that. That's why he's in Despicable Me 3.
Trey Parker.
Yeah, Trey Parker. He's in Despicable Me 3. There's an interview where he says it because he wants to have a thing that his 3-year-old can watch that he's made.
That is good.
Yeah. So every R-rated actor goes through that phase, and I like Ryan Reynolds because, like I said, I like Spirited. I think that movie was cute and funny, and I also like Free Guy and The Adam Project, despite the fact that nobody else did. I like The Adam Project. I think that movie was fun.
And of course, Deadpool.
But kids can't watch the Deadpool.
I mean, I'm not a child. I can watch the Deadpool.
Yes, but the kids can't watch.
The Deadpool.
I don't think his 3-year-old can watch the Deadpool. Although his young co-star from Adam Project did.
I mean, technically, anybody can watch anything. It doesn't mean they should.
That is true. We certainly did. We certainly watched South Park at the age of 13. Probably too young to watch that.
Movies and shows that we probably shouldn't have.
Exactly.
But anyways.
So with that having been said, we're going to talk about my book report, which is going to be, we're going to talk about Dungeons & Dragons. And we're going to talk about it in phases, because that's one of Jordan's favorite things. Jordan loves Dungeons & Dragons. So we're going to talk about it.
Enjoy it.
We're going to talk about it in phases. First, I want to talk about Vox Machina. We're going to start by talking about Vox Machina, because I finished watching Vox Machina this morning. And remind me, Kelly, you guys watch Vox Machina, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Okay. Have you watched Critical Role at all, or did you just watch Vox Machina on its own as a show?
Just Vox Machina on its own.
Okay. Interesting. And you're caught up? You've seen season 1 and 2?
Yep.
Perfect. Okay. I'm going to be spoiling it if people are listening. They haven't or haven't watched it, just to be forewarned, okay? We're going to start off with season 1. Now, the question for me, Jordan, is tying it into Critical Role, which I will talk about because I listened to the first episode of that, and I have comments about it and questions. So, how accurate is the show to Critical Role? Like, how much of the dialogue was crosstalk? And I will say I did watch some comparison clips that you told me about last night. So I did kind of see that it is fairly accurate. But how much does it diverge? Like, on a scale of 1 to 10, I guess.
For season 1, I would say that it's fairly accurate for the most part, like 7 or 8. There's the thing that makes season 1 tricky is there's part of it. So in the original Critical Role podcast / show / whatever you want to call it, I listen to it as a podcast, so that's my frame of reference. There wasn't one of the actors or individuals, party members, I don't know what you want to refer to them as, who was part of it, whose name I'm forgetting. Tiberian Storm Rage, Storm something. And he wasn't great for the show. And so I believe it's 21 episodes into the original Critical Role show that he was all of a sudden not a part of it anymore. And so there's stuff in the show, in the Vox Machina show, where he was there for.
Right.
And so he has to. They kind of have to write this new show as if he wasn't. And so for like me, who had watched that when I was like, wait, where is he? He was a kid, and I kind of had to go and look up and find out what had happened to him. And you don't know if you didn't know that, you wouldn't know that.
Yeah, no, I would have.
The show.
I had no idea.
Thank you, Jamie. Birthday's not till Monday, but I appreciate the early love. Jamie said happy birthday.
Excellent.
But and yeah, in terms of the Vox Machina show, they have done it very, very clever, actually, where they've restructured certain things and rewritten certain things so that they just work better on its own kind of thing. Like, I would say it's one of those things where they very deliberately have made it a thing where you can watch it on its own and fully understand, and it is a complete story, and you won't be missing anything. But for those who have watched the original, you can be like, oh, that's from this thing.
So
that's a reference to X thing, like the beard with Grog, for example.
Okay, so yeah, that was my question. Did he always have a beard?
No.
No. When did he get a beard?
At a certain point in one of the many battles that they had, I don't remember specifically which one.
Yeah.
He gets a magical item, which is from all the band and team for Again and Forever. Happy birthday, Jordan. Have a unique one full of love and joy. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Sorry, back to what I was saying. In one of the... I don't want to downplay that. Thank you. I really do appreciate that. But in the original Critical Role, at a certain point, the party gets the item, the Belt of Dwarven Kind, I believe it's called, which when you wear it, it allows you to understand the language Dwarvish. And at the beginning of a day, you have a chance. You roll a certain, I think it's a D6 or something, or D20 with one of the dices, and you have a chance of growing a full dwarven beard. And so for session after session after session after session, Travis kept rolling, and Matt would be like, yeah, you grow like a small amount more of the beard. And so in terms of the show, they gave him the belt, he puts on the belt, and he all of a sudden has the beard.
Oh, is that why he had it? Because I'm obviously like doing other things, right? So I look down and then I look back up, and all of a sudden he has a beard. And I was like, what? Did he always have a beard? Did I miss him getting a beard? I'm so confused. Why does he have a beard?
He puts on the belt, and that's a reference to in the original. He got that belt, and he struggled to grow a beard because, I guess canonically, or at least in Matthew Mercer's version of things, Goliaths don't grow beards. So him having a beard in terms of their original game was like, yeah, no, you are only able to grow this because you have the belt. And so there was always the question of like, so if you take the belt off, does the belt like the beard like just fall off his face or
Right.
like what happens there?
So, okay, I have more questions. So, the individual character moments. Okay, I guess my first question is
Yeah.
how Percy heavy was was that initial, like, was that first arc? Was it as Percy heavy as it is in the show?
Well, technically, that's the Percy arc is actually the second arc,
Right.
in terms of original Critical Role. Uh, the first arc starts partway through because they originally Critical Role started with them playing as just a group of nerdy friends off like doing their own thing kind of thing. They didn't film it, and then partway through that kind of first arc, and so as I understand it, they started. It was originally Pathfinder, is what they
Yes.
were playing,
That's what I
and
read
that's
too.
where a lot of Percy's stuff comes from Pathfinder.
Yeah, they had to
Like, it's a
rebuild his
little wonky
character.
at times. Yeah, um, and so that first arc that they had in game starts with them going to Braghammer, and they go underneath, and they have their whole adventure there, and then they end up going back to the Tal'Dorei and stuff, and it leads into the stuff that you know from the show with
Right.
the I'm blanking on their names, the vampires.
I can't remember. Briarwood.
Briarwoods, thank you. And yes, that is his arc. That is like they in the original thing, and it's very funny to watch it where it's like they're at the dinner or whatever, and it's like the blah 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 Briarwoods, Delilah and something the dude Briarwood,
Yeah.
and Taliesin Jaffe's face is like in the like real life is like he has this look of recognition because he knows who they are because
Yeah.
he has a say in his background, right?
Yeah.
But the rest of the party has no idea who these people are, and so it's fascinating and it's really fun. I listen to it as a podcast, so I don't always get to see their facial reactions
Yeah.
or like the models that Matt Mercer makes until I go and I'll watch compilation scenes or stuff like that where I get to see their reaction.
Yeah.
And getting to see like the actual like the acting that he's doing because they're great.
So,
They're great.
how much of, because I did see some comparisons, how much of the dialogue from the show is from the campaign?
There are scenes where they literally just rip the dialogue right from.
That's what that's what it seems like. I'm like, that's so, and it's so weird because like there's this really good set of videos where they splice them, so it cuts from the actual scene back to the table, back to the scene, and like you see Matthew Mercer doing the character, and then it flipping to the character, like what the character sounds like in the show, and it's really weird.
Sorry, real quick. I'm sorry if I butcher your name here. Yeah, I'm gonna try and Valena Shale. I don't know how to pronounce that last one. I hope you have a wonderful birthday today. It is actually my birthday on Monday, but I appreciate the early love. And then Aneurysm says, Jordan gets 2 birthdays. What a score, right? I get love on multiple days. It feels very nice. Sorry, you were saying.
The dialogue from the yeah. So but there's moments where the characters are like talking amongst themselves. Is that reflective in the from the show as well? Like when they have those individual one-on-one moments. How did that from, or is that like included for television?
It depends on the scene. Close. Apparently, I said the name close. But happy birthday Monday. Thank you, Valena S. We're just gonna call you Valena S. In terms of the crosstalk, it depends. If it fits, I think the way that they chose, and there's probably behind the scenes stuff where they go more into this, but my estimation and evaluation would be if they're writing a show and if it fits into the show naturally, like it just kind of works and is cohesive, it's probably just straight.
One of the moments I saw where it was the comparison was that moment where they're fighting. I don't remember what the character's name is. All I remember is he's Bill Dotree from King of the Hill. The professor or whatever. And he's holding one of the characters hostage, and Percy shoots like through all of the party and through him through the face, and his face falls off.
Oh yeah.
And that was kind of neat seeing the comparison video of like he rolled a natural 20, and so that's why that looks so cool on the show.
Yeah.
And so then that leads me to I really have more questions about season 2. I think so. Like okay.
I'm sorry to interrupt, guys, but I have to go, so I just wanted to say bye.
Bye, Kelly. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, thanks for joining us. Bye. Talk to you later.
No problem.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay. Thank you, Kelly, for dropping in again. Thank you for everyone who's dropped in the chat and said hi. And yeah, Jordan's feeling the love. We're having a good time. If you're just joining us, we are talking about we're currently talking about Vox Machina.
And also, if anyone wants to join in like Kelly did today, we will, I don't know if like in the video description later on, we can add a link to the Discord so people can join and they could theoretically join in on calls.
Yeah, if you ever want to join in, anyone's welcome. All I ask is that you let me get through the administrative stuff. So, the intros, the sponsors, all that. But you're more than welcome to phone on in and chat with us about the news and the book reports. And if you want to come talk to us about Vox Machina, we're talking about Vox Machina right now. So to get back to my question, sorry. I have more questions about season 2. So the action sequences where they're fighting guys, that's combat, right? That's adapted from combat, sort of, loosely?
A lot of the times it is. Season 2 is where it gets a little wonky because there is quite a significant difference between season 2 and the actual campaign.
Okay, that's where my questions start. So, okay, let me ask my questions and we'll you can answer them one at a time. Did Travis Willingham and Ashley Johnson leave for a major part of the second arc? Or maybe to be more specific, did they split off the party in the actual campaign like they do on the show?
No,
they don't. So they were all together when they were in the Fey Realm.
They were all together in the Fey Realm. That's completely different for this.
Interesting. And what about Grog being weak and not muscular anymore? Because I'm like, how does that work in game?
From what I remember, and you're gonna have to keep in mind that it's been a bit since I've watched / listened to that.
Yeah.
But from what I remember, no, he didn't go all weak-armed or limpy. He just didn't have the sword anymore. And
interesting. So they've just added that for drama.
Yeah, like for story-wise,
okay.
Probably.
And what about the weapons or the I can't remember what they're called. The
vestiges of power.
Yeah,
vestiges of a divergence.
Do they all get those in the actual campaign, and they're just weapons that are items that are super strong?
They all get vestiges of divergences, and I believe in terms of the show, I don't think they've gotten them all yet. Thank you, Aurora Rawl. My birthday's not till Monday, but I appreciate the early love. I'm pretty sure I recognize that username. If it is who I think it is. Probably.
Not everyone's looking to be internet famous. We get that.
Yeah, we won't say names unless they are displayed, basically.
Yep.
Aneurysm says, I'm not familiar with Vox Machina.
You should watch it.
Ashley Johnson, who plays Ellie in The Last of Us. Yes.
Yes, it is. Yes.
And you should watch Vox Machina.
Yeah, because you're a Dungeons and Dragons person. You've told me about Dungeons and Dragons your campaigns before, so you should watch it if you like Dungeons and Dragons. It's good. It's good if you like. I mean, that and the new Dungeons and Dragons movie, like nothing really represents what it's like to play Dungeons and Dragons quite like those two experiences.
Aurora says, "Sorry, I can't hang out, but I wanted to stop by," and then she has her name here, but I won't necessarily read it. That's fair.
Thank you for stopping by. Thank you. We appreciate it. We appreciate the viewership.
Thank you.
You're telling YouTube that people like us. So it's helping us.
That's great.
Yeah. Every bit of interaction helps. It really does. They all got I assume it all leads to they all get individual weapons, right?
They do. They all get ones. I don't think they have them all in the show yet.
No, they have. Grog has the gauntlets. Taz. The cloak, the armor. The one guy has the armor, and the one guy has the dwarf. Scanlan has the sword, and I think that's it.
Yeah.
It's just the cloak, the sword, and the.
So Vax has the Raven Queen's armor, which makes him super fast.
Yeah.
Scanlan has the sword, Sting.
Yep.
Grog has
Sting, named after Lord of the Rings.
I think that's what it's called.
Oh, interesting.
I might be conflating the two.
Interesting.
Vixalia has the bow.
Yeah.
Who am I missing? Did I say Grog has the gauntlets?
You did not, but Grog has the gauntlets.
Percy, in terms of actual, in terms of the actual campaign, ends up getting from what I remember, it's like a cloak.
Oh, okay.
Which, it absorbs magic, and then he can basically shoot out a specific type of magic damage.
I can see where the show's going now. That makes sense. Yeah.
And Ashley Johnson's character Pike gets a shield, I believe.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Which, when she goes down, if I remember correctly, revives her with 1 HP, and she can use Hellish Rebuke.
Interesting. So, how many of those
Aneurysm says, "Damn, I'm a fan of hers. I'll have to check it out. I've been meaning to watch Honor Among Thieves too, because I've heard nothing but great things. It's great.
It's great.
Like D&D,
it's great.
There's a lot of, oh my god, there's an owl bear, or there's the, and I don't feel bad saying this because this was in the trailers. There's the gelatinous cube, or I recognize that spell. Kind of situation.
I started to have it watching this again, where I've sunk so many hours into Baldur's Gate 3 that hey, that's entangling web. Or entangling vines or whatever. Yeah. I know that spell. Oh, he's clearly doing Ice Storm. I was like, I recognize that spell. That was kind of neat. Fun. So those big. Okay, when so how does the bit where they fight the Horde? How did that work in the actual campaign?
Where they fight the
where Scanlan
the zombies?
No, where Scanlan. Ashley Johnson's character, Scanlan, Pike, and Grog, they get separated and they wind up in Westa, whatever, and they
Westeros or whatever.
Yeah, they run into Grog's old horde and they fight the uncle. So how did that work?
Magic missile, Aneurysm says.
Yes.
That's an awesome one. So how that worked was they went there intentionally. The group went there looking for. They knew that his uncle was there and the gauntlets were there, and they were hunting for these vestiges. And so as a group, they went there. They snuck in. They accidentally got a poor innocent farmer murdered by the Goliaths that were there. They snuck in, and basically Grog challenges him.
Interesting.
And I challenge you to one-on-one combat.
Oh, so they don't do
the rest of them. The rest of them are all hiding in the buildings and stuff around. Sorry, checking my battery life. He goes to challenge him, and he's getting his ass kicked by Horlock or whatever the uncle's name is.
Mm-hmm.
And he's about to go down and dying and stuff, and that's where he's like, "Vox Machina, fuck shit." Oh!
Yeah, that felt like a reference.
Then that entire fight scene happens pretty faithfully,
pretty
accurately.
That was just regular combat. All those horde guys were just regular guys, and the uncle was the boss, basically.
They were fighting. The uncle was the boss, who had, from what I remember, had legendary abilities and stuff. And the way that they beat them was, the girl, Vex Alia, brings Grog into her amulet,
Yeah,
The
that
light
very
comes
much
out,
felt like
he drops down,
yeah,
and Matt was like roll your d20 to see if you hit, and he rolls a natural, I believe a natural 20,
yeah.
and that's where he's like,
That's what it
how do
felt
you want to
like.
do this? And it's like they had been fighting for a while, so it was like that was the final attack kind of thing.
Yeah,
But he had already done a bunch of damage to him, and yeah, he's like, yeah, and it literally happens like that. It's
yeah.
pretty much a shot for shot remake.
I could. That's like I felt the same way about when they were fighting the dragon, where it's like there's a lot of where he's like, I could hear the actor who's plays Scanlan. I could see him at the table being like, I'm gonna try going up the dragon's ass, like
So
that.
that's actually, from what I remember,
I'm gonna roll to see if I can go up the
that was
dragon's
not
ass.
that wasn't quite like that. From what I remember, they dimension doored into the dragon.
Oh, interesting. That's also a technique.
Um,
It's also a way to
like
do it.
they yeah, and then it plays out like very similarly, where it's like it's got the sword inside, and they go out through the wound. But no, they didn't go up its ass in the original.
That's how much of a twist is the fact that Scanlan has a daughter in the original?
Uh,
Pretty major one. Yeah.
yeah. Considering he tries to sleep with his daughter.
Oh, so that scene plays out pretty much exactly the same, and on the.
Oh,
That's
very
so funny.
similarly, yeah.
One of the things that made me laugh.
He goes up to the room, and like basically it plays out the same.
Yeah.
And afterwards, the rest of the table would not let him live it down.
That's so funny.
Very funny.
That's so funny. So, one of the funny things.
You tried to seduce your daughter. Like, oh my god.
That's so fun. Moving into more Critical Role generally. At what point does the audio not sound like I'm being stabbed in the ear?
I would argue personally, it gets refined or better with Campaign 2 with Mighty Nine.
Interesting.
This was very much this first one was very much they had no idea what they were doing. They were figuring it out as they went along.
Because it was like, yeah, it's fun to listen to, but when they all yell at once, it's like in my ear. I'm like, oh my god, stop all talking at once. I can't understand what any of you are saying. It was making it hard to follow.
Sound mixing definitely gets better in the second, like the Mighty Nine campaign.
Interesting. I mean, I did notice an improvement from episode 1 to 2. I will say, I did notice an improvement.
Like, don't get me wrong. It gets to the point where it's like
you can understand each individual character in person.
For the most part, and except for when they get really. Now I can hear you.
Okay, that was weird.
My YouTube is also doing the spinny. So I don't know if that's.
That might be our internet. It's okay. We're getting to wrap up time.
I don't know if anyone.
Did we lose the? Are we still streaming?
I'm not sure if we're still on. I can't tell.
No, yeah. According to
Aneurysm says we cut out for a second.
Weird. That was weird. Hey, I can see the chat and
had to restart. He said had to restart the out, so you can just see what he's saying then. But for the vocal side of things, he said had to restart the app.
Weird. So sorry, Critical Role. My question, audio. What was my? Do I have another question about Critical Role? Oh, one of the things I liked about Vox Machina is I love how every background character that Matt Mercer plays looks like Matt Mercer. I thought that was funny. So canonically in the D&D universe, there's just a bunch of people who look like Matt Mercer.
One thing that I find funny about, well, not necessarily in the D&D, but in his world for sure. Aneurysm says using YouTube ad. It's fine now though. That's
good.
Weird. I don't know why that happened. One thing that I kind of enjoy about the show, which is kind of an interesting, is there's characters in the original that Matt played Matt Pat. Sorry, different celebrity. Matthew Mercer
Yeah.
played that in the show. Obviously, they have like a cast full of people, so you get to have actual like other people play these
Yeah.
characters instead of it just being Matthew Mercer all the time. Matt Pat. I've been watching too much Game Theory. Uh, uh, but so like um, um, Alora Vysoren is played by an actual woman
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
show, whereas in the original it's him. And I mean, don't get me wrong, he does a pretty stellar job doing girl voice, but he's still a
It's,
man doing a girl
what
voice.
made me laugh was in the first episode, all of his dwarves to me sounded like David Tennant. Like every single dwarf voice he did, I was like, it sounds just like David Tennant. So it was
I
really
can see it.
funny to me when in the first episode David Tennant shows up as one of the guys. I was like, wow, what a weird coincidence.
That's
That's
funny.
very
Yeah.
odd.
No, yeah. So that's one of the things I like about the show is getting to hear other people play the characters. One thing that I like about the Critical Role universe at large is that like each campaign is a continuation of the world. It all takes place in the same world. It's not like
Yeah.
he's made a new one. So Mighty Nine is just years in the future, for from the Vox Machina storyline.
Exactly.
So and it's on a different continent too. So at a certain point in the Mighty Nine story, they run into Laura Vysoren, uh, a member of the Taldori Council,
Yeah.
and immediately, like when he said the name, they're like, "Oh my god!" Like, "Oh my god!" Like outside of like not their characters, obviously, but them
Yeah.
as people, we're like, "Oh my god!" And now she's like 50 years old, whereas in the Vox Machina, I think she's supposed to be 30.
Huh.
Um, or something like that, like younger. And they're like, "Oh my god!" And so they keep trying to bait Matt as Alora to be like, "So, who's on the Caldori Council again? Like, could you like who?" And Matt will not say because, um, I'm guessing one of the members is probably one of the members of the Mighty Nine, or of the not Mighty Nine of Vox Machina. But so at a certain point in the Mighty Nine campaign, he's like, every time you ask, one of them dies.
That's funny. That's so funny.
And so there's moments like that where like characters or things from past like from the past campaign will show up, and I'm sure that's the case in the third campaign as well. But so in the section that I just got past, um, so in the original campaign for Vox Machina, Keyleth's mom was lost, like presumed dead. Like they as far as they all know, she's dead and has been for years. She failed her Aramante, and didn't succeed and stuff. And so in the one of the most recent Mighty Nine ones that I just listened to, the past arc they were on this island called Rumblecusp, and while you were on that island, if you were there for too long, usually 2 days or more, you
Hmm.
start losing your memories, right? And so there was this false god, basically, and the druid, the spiritual leader of the people on that island that was helping them, they use a greater restoration on her, and it makes her remember everything. It gets
Hmm.
rid of the fog that had been clouding her mind, and you find out that it's Keyleth's mom. And
Oh.
it's like, oh, and it's funny because Sam Riegel was the first one to figure out. He's like, people in the chat like figured it out like 20 minutes ago, and I told Liam O'Brien, and Liam's like, yeah, I messaged Marisha Ray and told her. Marisha Ray's like, I'm busy playing the game. I don't check my phone when we're playing the game. What? My mom's alive. What? And is like freaking out about it. It's like, oh my god, my mom. And so they're all like, while they're going through it, doing the battle with the monster and stuff, they're like, we have to make sure Keyleth's mom survives. She has to get home to her family. We want her to have that happy ending.
That's funny.
Like, canonically, we want it so that Keyleth's mom shows back up again.
That's so funny.
It's been it's been 20 years since she disappeared. We want that happy ending for her. And I'm like, I love this. I love this greater narrative that they have going on in
Yeah,
this world,
yeah, that's
where it's
so
like
cool.
they're not playing those characters anymore, but those characters are still living a life and still
Right,
doing a thing.
right. That's so cool. Um, I'm
Very
just
fun.
trying to think. Is there anything else I
I
had
would
to
much love it.
say about Vox Machina and Dungeons and Dragons? I think we covered it. I think you answered all my questions. I think that might be it. I think. Do you have anything you wanna add?
Um, I mean, anyone who hasn't listened to Critical Role, go listen to Critical Role because they're always fun, and then we can talk to you about them on stream if you so decided.
Exactly. So yeah, I enjoyed the first episode. I'm definitely gonna stick it out for certainly the Vox Machina, as much of it as I can. I'll listen to it. I did enjoy. I am enjoying it. It might not as consistently as you, but I might check back in every once in a while. I'm certainly gonna watch the third season of Vox Machina.
I mean, it makes my work days just fly by because
And
I
I
have
mean,
to.
all of
I have,
the animation in the show is beautiful, and if they're doing a Mighty Nine show, if that's half as beautiful, I still
I'm
maintain
excited.
they should do an animated spin off of Baldur's Gate 3 and do a crossover in the
I mean,
same art style, same art style.
I fully believe they could. We briefly talked about this, where I said the way that in Critical Role in Exandria they have the fire plane, the water plane, like the Fey Wilds. Those are all different planes of existence. So to say that the Baldur's Gate 3 people just come from another plane of existence, easy,
Exactly,
very easy to do,
easy to
and it
do,
would be fun.
and it
I
would be
would love
fun.
to see I would love to see Asterion and Scanlan.
Yeah,
I would love to see those two together.
yeah.
Have a sass off. Oh
Yeah,
my god,
it's
that'd be so fun.
so fun. But I think with that, I think we're gonna wrap up today's episode. Um, I'd like to thank everyone who joined us once again for to celebrate this one's anniversary of existence. If you want
Thank
to
you.
wish him happy birthday on his actual birthday, where can they find you on your actual birthday, Jordan?
On my actual birthday, I will be streaming Minecraft for Minecraft Monday on my Twitch account, Zethgore187. Um, I will be there. That'll be what I'll be doing.
Yeah, and you can obviously always find me. You can find me on TikTok. I'm Justin Spurr on TikTok. I do this, but shorter. And if you want to contact the show, I do have a business email. It's justinsbusiness@gmail.com. No apostrophes. So it's justinsbusiness@gmail.com. If you want to contact us about anything, you send a letter. We can read it on the air. Just don't be weird. That's all I ask. Don't be weird. If you're weird, I will delete the email.
And maybe, like I said, in the description of this video, or maybe in a comment or something, we'll leave a link to the Discord so people can join.
Yes.
Also,
If you have Discord, you're welcome to join us here, and we can talk about movies and stuff. It's fun.
Kate says, cheers. Aneurysm says, that was awesome. Happy early birthday again, Jordan. Thank you. And Kate also says, happy early birthday again. Thank
Yes.
you.
And
Thank you.
If you want to listen to this podcast and you just want to listen to it, you don't want to watch it, that's cool. It's on Spotify. I believe it's on Amazon Podcast and obviously the Arete podcast, artemedia.org. But thank you, everyone,